would agree with that, Chris. And Phillip Rivers is, too, a special player. He had a chance to sit behind Drew, obviously, for those 2 years. But you look at what he's doing now. First-time receiver here, Travis Benjamin. He's working with Tyrell Williams. And he's got to work with the rookie tight end and Hunter Henry. So, yes, he's going to need to be more of the same today if they're going to go get a win at home here against the Saints.
Moments ago in the coin toss. And here is the guys who competed with each other for the starting job. Briefly, as Phillip Rivers said, I knew by that second year here that one of us was going to have to go. We'll discuss that storyline throughout the game. Saints did win the toss, and they want the football first for Drew Brees. Sean Payton, whose coaching career began at San Diego State. Mike McCoy ready to go. The 1-2 Chargers. McCoy taking San Diego to the playoffs his first year as the head coach. Outstanding weather, that's what you expect in San Diego. Game 4 happening. Chargers and Saints in the end zone, and out to the 25-yard line comes Drew Brees and this Saint offense, completing 66% of his passes. And since departing San Diego, those passing yards by far, as you just touched on some numbers, and touchdowns as well. This year, 8 touchdowns, just 1 interception, and that was off a deflection. He's already over 1,000 yards this season to lead the NFL so far heading into Game 4. Mark Ingram starts in the backfield. Saints coming off the loss Monday night. Ingram carries, and there's room to run for Mark Ingram. Gets up near the 35-yard line. Willie Snead returns to the receiving corps. The rookie Michael Thomas from Ohio State, Brandon Cooks, and the ex-Colt Kobe Fleener at tight end. On the offensive line, Armstead is out with the knee injury. Some shuffling going on there. The veteran Max Unger, the anchor man. On first down, Ingram, another strong run just short of the 40. And look at this San Diego defense that had another injury when Manti Te'o went out. Jaleel Adai out with a collarbone injury, and Brandon Flowers out with a concussion in the secondary.
Well, I really like what they have in linebacker Jatavis Brown. He had some reps coming into this game in situational football. He's going to have to assume a much bigger role here today, starting in the middle.
Second down, 6. Brees, incomplete. Coverage was very good on Michael Thomas by Casey Hayward. An excellent free agent signing, leads the team with 3 interceptions.
And Casey Hayward today starting because Brandon Flowers is out with those symptoms from a concussion. And I can't tell you if there's been a better free agent acquisition in the secondary across the league than Casey Hayward. Came in 3 interceptions in 3 games. You know about his success when he was with the Green Bay Packers, and it showed up early in the year so far here for the Chargers.
Facing a 3rd and 6. Ingram splits to the right, Brees to the middle, and caught. Brandon Coleman near midfield for a Saints first down.
Drew Brees so good at surveying the field. He has so much time, and Brandon Coleman's going to be right here and just end up right in the middle of your field. But you'll notice all the way across the field, he knows where that last receiver is. It's always over top of the football. Drew Brees finds his receiver, gets the first down.
Most accurate passer in NFL history, 66.4%. From exactly midfield, Brees has time and open. Inside the 40 is Brandon Cooks, and that matchup is one you're watching all day. Jason Verrett and Cooks.
Jason Verrett and Brandon Cooks train a lot in the offseason together. They're very familiar with each other. But we know what happened last week for the Chargers defense. T.Y. Hilton, a very similar type of receiver, had a field day with this Chargers defense. See if that plays itself again, and the Saints know that. See if they target Cooks a lot today.
Pickup of 11, marked at the 38 of San Diego. Impressive start for this Saint offense. Walt Coleman, our referee, and they moved it back where it should have been to the 39, so a correct spot. First down. Mark Ingram again with a lot of running room, spun down around the 33-yard line.
The New Orleans Saints are notoriously fast starters, Chris. We know this. If you watch them over the years, they get to this rhythm on their first drive of the game, and so far today, the Chargers have no answer for it within the run game. And if Mark Ingram gets his game going, they're going to have a long, long day trying to stop this Saints offense.
Sean Payton said Ingram ran his best Monday night since he had returned from his injury, so he's going in the right direction. On 2nd and 4, Brees rolling and throwing is the catch, yes, but out of bounds. He was going to Cooks again. It'll bring up 3rd down. The Iron Man Brees starting today. He's now started 162 of a possible 164 games for the Saints.
Guy just doesn't miss football. Injury, tough situations. Drew Brees is the best I've seen do it.
All right, the officials having a little trouble with exact spots so far on this opening drive.
San Diego Chargers, 2nd in the league in 3rd down. They're going to give up some yards today, obviously. Drew Brees and this offense are so efficient moving up and down the field. When they get this close to this red area where they are now, they got to find a way to get some stops. See what they got for Drew Brees here.
Need to get to the 29 of San Diego for a 1st down. The quick pass is on target, and Michael Thomas breaks a few tackles to get down inside the 17, and it's another Saints 1st down.
Well, Michael Thomas is really coming to his own here lately. Great off the line of scrimmage. Got that big body and those enormous hands. Just sucks in that completion. They get a 1st down.
Leads all rookie receivers in catches after 3 games, coming into the 4th, and the leading receiver on this team, Ingram. And Mark Ingram finally brought down short of the 15 of San Diego. Well, the Saint offense hasn't been the problem this year. The 0-3 record, tough loss at home with the Raiders, a high-scoring game, a defensive game, losing to the Giants, and then, of course, the Monday night game, a botched punt created some issues in a high-scoring loss.
It's interesting you say that. To me, Chris, this team almost has to be perfect to win football games right now. They're just not quite talented enough to do it with the mistakes that have gotten them. But we know what they're going to get on offense to see if Drew Brees can get a score on their first drive.
Brees completes to Thomas again, down around the 1-yard line.
Well, Drew Brees is having his way with this Chargers defense, and really they're playing a lot of zones. And Michael Thomas just finds a way to sit in there, and there's nobody on the other side of the football to make a play there, and it's an easy completion down to the 1-yard line.
1st and goal. Brees 4 out of 6 on this opening drive. Mark Ingram. Saints in San Diego have a 6-0 lead.
Well, I tell you what, Chris, sometimes they do make it look very, very easy. Drew Brees is efficient. Mark Ingram finding some running lanes up there with that offensive line, creating some good holes for him, and this touchdown was a little too easy. Andrews Pete does a good job sealing the edge, and he just walks in for a touchdown.
Will Lutz, the rookie kicker, coming on for the extra point. 9th touchdown pass of the year already for Drew Brees. Mark Ingram on the touchdown, Brees set him up. So he still has 8 touchdowns for Mark Ingram. It's a rushing touchdown on the Saints lead.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
For Mark Ingram, that was his first rushing touchdown this season. He does have a touchdown catch, but 5 carries on that drive and very effective, averaging over 4.5 yards a carry. And, of course, Drew Brees, 4 out of 6. First time the Saint offense got the football, and thus the 7-0 lead. Will Lutz kicking off. Dexter McCluster, recently signed with injuries to the running backs here in San Diego, is coming out of his own end zone. McCluster with a strong return up near the 30-yard line. Philip Rivers replaced Brees as the starting quarterback in the 2006 opener for the Chargers, and he's never missed a start. 164 straight, and some impressive numbers, those 42,000 plus passing yards, second during that time to that guy.
It's very fun watching Philip Rivers play quarterback, Chris. I know, having played against him and watched him from afar, the guy is competitive. He loves to win. He loves the competition of really probably trying to outduel Drew Brees today. It's going to be a fun matchup.
30-yard return on the kickoff by McCluster. Spotted at the 29. First down. Melvin Gordon gets across the 30-yard line. He comes in with 4 rushing touchdowns. And the injuries to Keenan Allen, if you go back, Stevie Johnson, Danny Woodhead, even Brandon Oliver in the preseason. No Antonio Gates again. So the rookie Hunter Henry at the tight end position. And on the offensive line, they've had to do a little juggling as King Dunlap remains out with migraine headaches. Second down, 7. Gordon could not get outside. Knocked down back at the 28. Ken Crawley, the rookie corner, coming up to make the play.
Well, we know what Gordon is as a straight-ahead runner. He hits a seam, he's gone. But if this Saints defense can do a good job making him try to get to the sideline, and you put your corners in run support, willing tackling corners like Crawley in run support, could be a long day for this Chargers offense.
Third down and 10. There have been changes on this Saints defense in the lineup. We'll go to those in a moment. They're threatening blitz. Here they come. Rivers throws. Travis Benjamin has it, but he's not going to get the first down.
Lots of changes. You're right, Chris. In the secondary, we have a change. We have 3 linebackers playing different positions today for the Saints. Craig Robertson will move to the middle, and Michael Maudie and Nate Stupar will start as outside linebackers. They had to do something. They were really struggling on this side of the ball, and a shakeup's a shakeup, and they get off on their first third down of the day.
Drew Kaiser was a teammate of their place kicker Josh Lambo at college. And it bounces. Tommy Lee Lewis on the bounce gets out of bounds. The Saints on the road behind Drew Brees have the early lead in the battle between 2 of the best quarterbacks in the game.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light. Beer with your team on it.
Saints have the football back after scoring on the first possession. This is how some players reacted during the national anthem here moments ago. Well, Philip Rivers said, you know, he was my teammate. I always get excited. I know I'm playing the other team's defense, but I always get excited when I'm playing quarterbacks like Roethlisberger or Manning or Drew Brees.
You can't help but be enthralled with the matchup. It's 2 of the greatest throwers, really yards-wise, in that 11-year span that they've been a part of.
Tim Hightower is in with an extra lineman, and he gets the carry. So Saints indicating Sean Payton, Pete Carmichael with the plays, helping him call that they want to pound the ball a bit.
Well, I know in the first 15 plays, almost every single game under Sean Payton, this offense is always clicking. They know exactly what they want to do. Let's see if they're able to maintain that momentum here in the second drive of the game.
There's Pete Carmichael. Sean Payton, when we asked him about how to habit, calling plays, he said it's like being on camera without a microphone. And I'm just used to.
Chris can't handle that.
I'm just used to doing it. Low snap that Brees handles on second down underneath. It'll bring up third as Ingram hauls it in. Chargers have not been able to put any real pressure on Drew Brees in these first series and a half here. Not yet. You got to get to those situations. We know what Pagano, the defensive coordinator in San Diego, loves to do. He wants to pressure you when you're given the opportunity. This could be an opportunity to do it right here, Chris. 3rd and 4. Sure, it's long enough, yet still could be aggressive. Let's see what he comes up with here. They bring in 6 defensive backs. Brees Backpedaling, hits the receiver. He's got room to run. It's Kobe Fleener with a first down out of bounds. Spotted up across the 35-yard line.
Well, Kobe Fleener's right here. He's going to get just a little bit of a protection first, just to check. And they're playing two-man. 20 right there. Dwight Lowry has him in coverage, but he sees him blocked, takes his eyes off of him for just a second, and he sneaks out for that first down completion.
Pickup of 9, 1st and 10 from the 36. Mark Ingram.
You know, Drew Brees has only been sacked 6 times on the year, Chris, and that's a major reason why. They do a lot of max protect, things to give him enough time to find receivers, especially on 3rd down. But those guys are always options in the pass game. He loves to check down the ball to his running backs. He loves to find his tight ends late. The San Diego Chargers are going to have to know that as they continue to go forward here on defense.
2nd down 7 from the 39. Second possession for the Saints. Ingram is met in the backfield and thrown down at the 33-yard line. Brandon Mebane, the one-time Seahawk, a team captain now here in San Diego with the play.
Right in the middle of your screen, right here, Brandon Mebane, the free agent from Seattle. Look at that sidestep. How does a guy that big make that athletic of a move, Chris? Max Unger, the center, has 0 chance. He got a big tackle for loss.
They were once teammates with the Seahawks, Unger and Mebane.
That'll be a fun one to watch all day today, Chris.
Now 3rd and 13.
Look at this look that they're giving him.
4-man rush. Brees is going to go down. San Diego with a sack, their 8th sack of the season. Jerry Atachu, the specialist, got him.
You had a lot of milling around there in the middle of the defense, but at the end, it's just a one-on-one matchup, and Zach Strief nowhere near making that block. And Atachu, who had 6 sacks on the year a year ago, is having a great start to this season as well.
Thomas Morstead on the punt. Dexter McCluster and Travis Benjamin. They know that Morstead is very good at angling the kick. And this will be Benjamin. And then it's McCluster who's going the other way. Make that Benjamin, excuse me. As McCluster went one way and Benjamin is still going. All the way up to the 40-yard line. A dazzling return, putting 2 punt returners back for Morstead. But the Charger defense comes alive on the 2nd series, and now it's Rivers' chance on offense.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. By Burger King. Now get 10 chicken nuggets for just $1.49, only at BK. And by Samsung Pay. Turn your phone into your wallet.
Back in San Diego, Dennis Allen in his first year as the defensive coordinator. He was with the team last year, and as he told us, he told his players this week, whatever we've been doing, it's not enough. And he emphasized that and shook up the lineup. As Rondé referenced different starters at linebacker and in the secondary. Some because of injury, some performance-based. Rivers completes just beyond the 40. Dontrell Inman on the catch, and these are the defensive players. A healthier Tyler Davidson should help up front, but they only have 4 sacks this year. The linebackers, major changes.
And there's Nate Stupar, who was a free agent, Monty, who we know, and Craig Robertson, who leads the league in tackles, moving from will linebacker to the middle. But this is the big addition in my mind. Vaughn Bell, the rookie out of Ohio State, going to bring a lot of energy to that secondary.
Rivers has it and has time, and that's the tight end, Hunter Henry, who has a first down to the 43 of the Saints. Henry had the terrific game until the fumble at the end that he felt terrible about. Well, as the Chargers were trying to come back last week against the Colts.
If you're missing Antonio Gates, you want to have a guy like Hunter Henry available for you. And again, look at him sneak out of the backfield there late. Very similar to what Drew Brees does. He knows his check down is going to be available to him. He picks up some big yardage.
Gain of 16. Gordon trying to get through. Stuffed at the 40-yard line. Let's get a game break. Say hi to Kurt Menefee.
Well, hi there, Chris Myers. I guess the San Francisco 49ers are saying hello, at least, to the end zone. First possession of the game for them. Blaine Gabbert hooks up to Jeremy Curley, 33 yards on the score, and they lead it by a touchdown over Dallas in the first quarter. Chris, Rondé, and Jen.
All right, thanks, Kurt. A little bit of a surprise there early. How about Buffalo shocking New England 16-0 earlier today? Atlanta winning at home against the Panthers. Second down 6. Pass caught. McCluster. Looks like he has enough for a first down.
Well, we knew that McCluster was going to assume a little bit bigger role this week. Having been here now for 2 weeks, having the opportunity to get more involved, and he was lined up on this side. He's going to run all the way over here, and just an option, a swing pass. It's as good as a run in my mind. Get the ball to the flat to one of your dynamic playmakers and pick up some big yards too. Again, this offense now rolling for the San Diego Chargers.
Ken Wisenhunt, the offensive coordinator, worked with McCluster in Tennessee, and when they had the injury with Woodhead, and earlier in the year, Brandon Oliver, they added him. He's had some time to settle in. Gordon dances around, and Gordon gets all the way down to around the 23-yard line. We saw those Saints defensive numbers, the worst defense against the run. They're giving up 149 yards on the ground.
Well, you're going to need to make tackles if you're a middle linebacker here at Robertson. And yes, they do everything right here except for make the tackle. And I'll give credit to Melvin Gordon. Look at that little side shimmy and then get vertical and pick up some yards. That's where he's gotten better this year, Chris. His feet are alive in the hole, hitting it downhill, running with a purpose. Looks good on this drive.
And picked up the first down. Gordon again. Brought down around the 20. Clock continues to run here, nearing the minute-and-a-half mark of the opening quarter. Looks like we have an injured player, and left guard Orlando Franklin with a limp. Spencer Pulley likely to come in. Back problems all week for Franklin have had an effect.
And Pulley has been getting some snaps on the offensive line anyway, so it's not as if he's kind of going in here weary, because he was taking some snaps from DJ Fluker at right guard. He'll move in over to the left side, get some play over there now as Orlando Franklin gets some treatment on the sideline.
Pulley, the free agent rookie from Vanderbilt, can play inside for this offense. So 2nd and 8. McCluster is now the running back with Rivers. Rivers open. Touchdown San Diego. Hunter Henry.
Well, Hunter Henry finds himself completely wide open. And I tell you what, you'll just see him running right through the screen. This is just old school Tampa cover 2. The middle linebacker there, Robertson, has to be running through the middle of the field. It ends up being like 3 deep, but he got caught up in that play action pass. Hunter Henry is wide open.
Josh Lambo to try the extra point to tie this game. And he does. 20 yards. Phillip Rivers to the rookie tight end, Hunter Henry, with his first NFL touchdown.
I want you guys to take a look at Craig Robertson right there in the middle and your safety, Kenny Vaccaro. Tampa 2. The middle linebackers got to move through the middle of the field, and you see his eyes in the backfield. The safety does him no favors by vacating his side of the field, and really easy touchdown for Phillip Rivers.
Henry had 6 catches last week in that game against Indianapolis and finds the end zone as Josh Lambo kicks off with both Cadet and Hightower back, and this will go through the end zone. Same offense will come out to the 25-yard line. So Mark Ingram scores on the ground. Brees answers through the air. We're tied at 7. The veteran Antonio Gates out with a hamstring, over 100 career touchdowns. Hunter Henry is 21 years old and already a couple of catches as he steps into that role. Daniel Lasco comes in at running back, rookie from Cal. First down for Brees, who sets to throw and does underneath Telasco. Tackled right away. Let's check in down on the field with Jennifer Hale.
Well, Chris, two highly competitive quarterbacks in this game who face the same emotional challenge, at least according to Sean Payton. That challenge not putting too much on their own shoulders, as both Rivers and Brees would love to turn around this season. Payton talked to Brees and said, hey, the key to this game, don't lose it for us with silly decisions versus trying to win it, Chris.
All right, thank you. 2nd and 3. The run by Alasko will bring up 3rd down. And Drew Brees handles things, you know, a guy so competitive to be 0-3 and putting up numbers. How does he do it?
Well, he talks about the process all the time, Chris, and I love to listen to him talk because he's so genuinely honest about what he's saying. And whether it's team's 3-0, 0-3, he's throwing for 100 yards, he's throwing for 300 yards. His preparation never changes. I've never seen a guy be able to compartmentalize. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to even try to say it.
He's very good at compartmentalizing. On 3rd down and 1. John Kuhn gets the first down, and that should bring the first quarter to an end.
I can't believe I couldn't get that word off.
That's okay. There's a lot
for a week.
It's a lot to put together there. You're as excited as Brees and Rivers about this matchup, tied as we get ready for the 2nd quarter. Start of the 2nd quarter, you were talking about compartmentalizing, how Drew Brees does that. All you have to do is compartmentalize the word when you say it, Rodney.
Compartmentalize.
You got it.
I got it. You know what I'm saying.
Okay, so he does that with all that goes on around him, continuing to be such an outstanding record-setting passer as Hightower and stops short of the 39-yard line.
And I got to tell you, I think about what he went through when he was here in San Diego, and it's amazing to me as we take a look here at your first quarter stats here. Pretty even on both sides of the ball, but I was in a situation where a guy came in and tried to take my job. You knew that that's what he was there for. You draft a guy high enough, you know that he's trying to take your job, but he puts it all beside him, goes out, behind him, goes out and have his best 2 years. Of course, the injury gets him out of town here, but he ends up in a great place in New Orleans and is thriving.
Taught Phillip Rivers a lot, too. Learned a lot from him, even though their personalities are so different. As a flag flies.
False start, number 73, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
And I got to tell you, there's no way he liked it. I know they talk about being friends and it was a fun room and whatnot, but this guy's breathing down your neck, wanting to be a starter. And Phillip actually had great words for us, saying after about a year of being a backup, I was not wanting to be a backup anymore. I had done it all. Drew had taught him everything he knows, and his fate has it, he was a starting quarterback the next year.
Brees throws into a crowd. The ball comes out. Trying to get it to Lasco, and it's incomplete. When they were teammates, go back to that 04-05 season, Brian Schottenheimer there. Doug Flutie was part of it, and Cleo Lemon, but he told us, Drew Brees said Cam Cameron called him in, this is long before the draft, and said, look, I believe you can be a star quarterback, but in this organization, they're going to bring somebody else in. And he knew to prepare.
His best years were at the end of his times here in San Diego. He didn't get off to a hot start, but he developed into the guy we're seeing on the field here for the past 11 years.
Cadet is in, as well as Ingram. Brees. Right on target to Cooks, who's got a first down. And showing you there's no wavering arm strength in Brees at age 37.
Well, he could tell you about that process all he wants, about how he's still able to deliver the ball as efficiently at an advanced age, 37 years old. But he does almost everything right with his body. And I tell you what, Chris, there's not a guy that has aged more gracefully than Drew Brees playing this position.
And the surgery he had after that injury went well. It's actually made his shoulder, arm area stronger. Ingram thrown down in a hurry. Excellent defense by the Chargers up front. Kyle Emanuel from his linebacker spot.
Kyle Emanuel, the outside linebacker. How about you hit on this guy in the draft? You wonder, there's so many guys on his team as I'm getting ready for this game, wondering who are these guys, but you put on the film and you see splash plays like that, and you know that they're exactly what this Chargers team wants.
His 2nd year from North Dakota State, drafted in the 5th round.
Hey, Miami! Miami! Hey, Ram! Ready!
Pressure picked up. A juggling catch made by the running back Ingram. Was he ruled down? He went to the ground. It was whether he was touched or not. And let's take a closer look. They're going to give him the advancement all the way to the 35.
Right there. He's got him man-to-man, and Mark Ingram, man, what a catch that was.
Like they may want to challenge, but the Saints go to the line and try to snap. Let's see, here comes the challenge flag from Mike McCoy. Looked like there was contact, even though he made the catch and then went to the ground.
Well, that situation that Jatavis Brown was in right there, trying to stay inside out on that running back, as you say, trying to keep him from going into that vacated space is so difficult.
San Diego is challenging the ruling on the field. The runner was not down by contact.
Ruling on the field, catch and advancement challenged by the Chargers.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. By Pizza Hut. Bring home the flavor. Only at Pizza Hut. And by Nissan. Innovation that excites.
It appears that he's down. Let's check. Walt Coleman.
After reviewing the play,
what do you think, Rhonda?
after reviewing the play,
Definitely down.
Okay.
he's third down. San Diego is not charged with a timeout.
Well, that's good. He reviewed it twice just to make sure. And
Well, he was
making sure the
he was
catch
being a DJ, stopping and scratching there with us. But
catch
yes,
was made.
he was clearly down. Catch was very good catch, actually, by Mark Ingram. But as I was saying before we went to break, Jatavis Brown is really in a tough situation there on a guy that's really quick, and I don't know how he held on to that ball. Look at it, almost goes off his bicep there, but there you go. Clearly his arm on his shin while he's on the ground. So the right call.
Good challenge, too, by Mike McCoy and the Chargers. Now a third down and 5 from the 46 of San Diego. Brees fires, completes. Willie Snead with a first down inside the 25 of the Chargers.
Willie Snead coming in motion, and you get that levels of defense if you're playing man-to-man, and the Chargers are playing a lot of man-to-man, and Casey Hayward really has a hard time fighting through that mess, and Willie Snead, back from that foot injury, picks up a big first down.
They missed him on Monday night. He averages 16 yards a catch, got 23 on that play. Quick pass to Michael Thomas, who gets down around the 13-yard line.
Good job by Drew Brees and his receiver, Michael Thomas, and we got an injured Charger.
Denzel Perryman, who takes in the defensive signals, who had a shoulder injury coming into the game. Remember, Manti Te'o, the Achilles injury last week, was one of their leaders on defense, out. And Joey Bosa remains inactive for this team.
Chris, that was a great job by Drew Brees, and it's, you know, beating a dead horse saying he understands football and when to come out of a running play. But that was a called run, and him and his young wide receiver are on the same page and just dumped it off and picked up 9 yards.
6 out of 7 on third down so far for Brees. It's 2nd and 1 here. Glasgow into a crowd. And he got the first down.
Yeah, well, you got, you know, Mark Ingram, you got Tim Hightower, Travarius Cadet, and then you got your guy that plays special teams mainly for this unit, Daniel Lasco, and Sean Payton has zero qualms about putting him in the game and handing him the football. He's got a lot of depth at running back on this football team.
C.J. Spiller, whom the Saints released, signed with the Seahawks, who won today. Saints will play them later in the year. Brees to Lasco. And the rookie from Cal gets inside the 5-yard line. 7th round draft pick.
Check out his moves here, Chris. I'd hand him the ball too. Look at lateral agility, get vertical, jump out of a tackle, pick up another 5 yards. Why not hand him the ball? looks the part, he runs hard. Good football player.
Remains in the game. Runs into his own man and then falls down. It'll bring up third down again.
Well, one of the most efficient offenses in the red zone, and that's because of the quick decision-making of their quarterback. You get 12 touchdowns down here, you get 9 touchdowns and 12 appearances down here. It's got to be because the quarterback understands where to deliver the football. See if he finds a quick receiver here.
Just inside the 5 on third down and 3. Ingram and Kuhn are the running backs. Brees flips, touchdown, John Kuhn.
Well, Drew Brees does a good job manipulating this defense here. Gives you a lot of movement. Makes your eyes, as a defender, look at distractions. He comes back on a misdirection and finds John Kuhn pretty much wide open for that touchdown.
It is the 9th touchdown pass. He came in, Drew Brees, tied for the league lead after 3 weeks with 8 touchdown passes, so he has 9 now. The Ingram touchdown run and now the extra point by Will Lutz to give the Saints a 14-7 lead. They also have had the ball more than 15 minutes compared to the Chargers, who've had it just over 5 minutes. Brees to Kuhn, and the Saints lead in San Diego. The early round's going to Brees, but it's Phillip Rivers' turn. Brees 6 out of 7 on that drive. He had 4 third down conversions. A drive that covered 75 yards. And then the touchdown pass. Dexter McCluster in the end zone if he has a chance to return the kick of Will Lutz. Touchback, 25-yard line for Rivers and the San Diego offense. October 8th, Super Saturday, kicks off at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific, Texas and Oklahoma. Then 3:30 Eastern, Game 2 of the National League Divisional Series. Finally at 7 Eastern, it's UFC 204 prelims. You'll see that on FS1. A Super Saturday. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday with Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, the NFL on Fox from San Diego. Phillip Rivers has not thrown an interception this year. On first down, he is sacked at the 21-yard line. Looked like Paul Kruger and Nick Fairley combined to bring him down.
There's a lot of big players inside here, and I think that's Nick Fairley on the right side of your screen there. And when he is on, Chris, he is almost unblockable sometimes. Actually, it looks like Paul Kruger gets there first, but you saw how quick the D tackle opened up that lane, and Paul Kruger falls inside for the sack.
It's only the 5th sack for the Saints defense. Loss of 3. Okay, there may have been a fumble. I think that's what Sean Payton is wondering about. Already had one challenge from Mike McCoy and the Chargers, and they won that challenge. Walt Coleman discussing that with Sean Payton.
And I think Walt's doing a service to his coach, telling him what he saw.
The play is not reviewable. The play was ruled in the grasp. Second down.
Let's take a look ourselves here.
Well, it doesn't really matter what we see here on film anyways. Once this official rules that this play is dead, and he's in the graph there, so if the ball is coming out, it doesn't matter. Even if that technically was a strip fumble, Walt Coleman told us that the play's dead, does not matter, so cannot challenge.
Like forward progress. So the referees do a good job of telling coaches, hey, really don't waste a challenge if this is something that we can't try and reverse. 2nd and 13. Rivers steps up, Unloads. Knocked down right away, Melvin Gordon. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson for the first time today. Hi, Carissa.
Hi, Chris. Dallas at San Francisco. No Des Bryant. He's out with that knee injury. The Niners were up early in the second, adding to their lead with this Carlos Hyde 3-yard run. San Fran up 14-0. Chris, Rondé, and Jen.
All right, thanks, Carissa. That would be a shocker. We've already seen Buffalo shut out New England today. The Raiders were winners over Baltimore. On 3rd and 9. Open in the middle of the field. Dontrell Inman has a first down around the 43-yard line of the Chargers.
Oh, this is what has really been ailing this Saints defense. And there's literally, Chris, nobody in the middle of the field where this ball is completed. And I know they're trying to give them a blitz look, but when they drop back out into coverage, I guess Sterling Moore's the closest to him, and he's just nowhere near affecting that play, and Chargers pick up a first down. 17-yard gain. Chargers lead the NFL in first half scoring differential.
Rivers, 7 of 7 so far. Open down the sideline. Dontrell Inman, touchdown Chargers. "57 yards.
Well, Dennis Allen is trying to play safe and protect his corners a little bit. Again, this is just a soft cover 2 zone, and the safety makes a big mistake, and Dontrell Inman is wide open down the sideline. See the corner here, just trying to disrupt his vertical release, and there's got to be a safety over there to make a play on the football. But he's wrong. He was wrong at the beginning and then doesn't make the tackle, and the Chargers have a big touchdown.
And if you're wondering who Dontrell Inman is, if you're not a Charger fan, 3rd season from Virginia, an undrafted free agent. Signed in 2014 after playing in the CFL. Injuries to Keenan Allen, Stevie Johnson, no Antonio Gates at tight end, so Rivers has to work with whoever he has to work with. And the connection here, Rivers with 2 touchdown passes today, and we're tied at 14.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Genesis. Take a breath of fresh luxury.
21-year-old Von Bell, the 2nd-round draft pick from Ohio State, with a start today over Jarris Byrd. And a rough moment for him as Inman went 57 yards for Dontrell Inman, his first touchdown this season, 4th of his career, and already a couple for Brees. For Rivers. Brees has one for the Saints. Josh Lambo kicking off. And touchback. Saint offense to the 25. Let's look at what happened on that play with Von Bell.
Chris, and I'm going to make this really simple for you. There's the rookie. He's playing cover 2, so you got 2 safeties back here, right? But watch the underneath defense. It doesn't give him any help. So he falls for that tight end right there, but really he's got to keep skating on his half and be able to play over the top of that receiver. And you know what, Dennis Allen, I was talking to him before the game. You know, we're starting this rookie. He loves football. He understands it. He's fast. He plays hard. But you're going to have to deal with the rookie mistakes, and we saw one right there. You understood that, right, Chris?
I watched it. I know that much. I know who's not happy is his defensive coordinator. Just over 7 minutes to go before the half. This is kind of what we expected. Brees to throw into a crowd, and it's intercepted, tipped into the air, and picked off by Craig Mager.
Well, I said earlier, the Saints can't afford to make mistakes, and he's going to try to fit this ball right in here. And this may be a little bit of a forced throw. Great coverage by Barrett. Getting a hand in there, and could say it 1,000 times. Tips and overthrows, got to cash in, and Mager catches in on his first interception of the year.
It's only the 2nd interception by Brees, and both have come off deflections. And you talked about that matchup with Barrett, the top corner for San Diego, who goes with the best receiver every week. Helped set up that play for Mager to get his first interception of the season. First turnover to maybe be the tipping point in the first half of this tie game. Saints threaten pressure. It's picked up. Rivers, Benjamin, out of bounds inside the 16-yard line.
That's B.W. Webb, and you don't want this. You don't want this right here. This is a track meet, and B.W. Webb is not as fast as Travis Benjamin. He just beats him across the field. Philip Rivers was going there all the way. Huge completion for the San Diego Chargers.
25-yard pickup. Rivers 9 out of 9 so far, over 150 yards.
Hey! Over this back! Hey! 954! 5, 4, 3, 6!
Melvin Gordon cuts back inside and swarmed by the Saints.
I tell you, this has got to be so hard for this Saints defense. You go out, you give up a big play for a touchdown, and then your offense gives the play right back. So you're immediately back on the field. So what you're reeling from that big play that resulted in a touchdown, and now have to come back out. And the momentum that I felt really early in the game was with New Orleans is definitely shifted straight onto the shoulders of Philip Rivers and this Chargers offense.
And Ken Wisenhunt back in San Diego. They're glad to have him as the offensive coordinator, former head coach in the NFL. 2nd and 6. It's Gordon again, spun around. You know, as a rookie, he had 184 carries, didn't have a touchdown. He scored 4 touchdowns in his first 3 games this season, and becoming more and more the workhorse with the injury to Danny Woodhead. Now McCluster comes in as he takes a breather.
Well, what I've noticed since that injury to Danny Woodhead, who I think is a fantastic football player, he comes back strong, is that Melvin Gordon's had to take on a more of a 3-down type of back role, and you seeing him contributing out of the backfield. He's stronger as a runner. Now we got Dexter McCluster in here. See what he can do down here on 3rd down.
And he overthrew him, and that didn't look like it was going to develop into much anyway.
We got to give credit here to the New Orleans Saints defense. Sudden change, you get a turnover. Exactly what Sean Payton warned Drew Brees against, trying to do too much. He did too much there, but his defense bails him out here and sets up this field goal opportunity.
It'll be a 30-yard try. Josh Lambo was under contract as a soccer player in the MLS. Undrafted, but has been a solid kicker for the Chargers and delivers from 30. He's now 7 out of 8 this year. The turnover, San Diego settles for 3. And that was the first incompletion for Rivers, 9 out of 10, over 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. Brees, 12 out of 16 with a touchdown, and suffered that interception. You see how anxious he is to get back in the game. Congratulations, by the way. The U.S. team wins the Ryder Cup. A lot of golf fans watching. Rondi, I know you're one of them.
Well, they are happy they flipped their TV off that victory for the U.S. and see their Chargers up by 3 here in San Diego.
Running it out is Cadet, who turns the corner. Here comes a flag as he goes out of bounds on another flag near the 29-yard line.
Well, this is a pretty obvious hold down here, right where Walt Coleman is standing.
During the return, holding number 29 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's on John Kuhn, the fullback. That'll back up the Saints just a little bit more here, trailing by 3. Let's head back to Jennifer on the field.
Well, Chris, I got a chance to speak with Doug Flutie this morning by phone. Of course, he's a huge fan of both Drew Brees and Philip Rivers. As you can remember, he was the grand poobah in that quarterback room at one point in time. Now, the biggest piece of advice he ever gave Drew, perhaps it's what Drew is thinking about right now. Flutie told him in times of adversity like right now, take control of the offense, be involved in the play calling, be active. He's watching this game right now, Rondé, Chris, so get ready.
A strong run, thank you, and there's a flag down. Ingram gets up across the 20-yard line. Only had 2 penalties.
Holding, number 73, offense. Half the distance to the goal, still first down.
A penalty on Jari Evans, and that's the 3rd penalty of the game, all against the Saints.
Jari Evans right there, right guard. Of course, left in the offseason, comes back, and that's a big man he's trying to hold. Takes him to the ground. I think if he's able to stay up, that penalty probably doesn't get called. But it further backs the New Orleans Saints into their goal line almost here, Chris. This is a dangerous situation. See if Pagano decides to fire up his defense here and blitz his quarterback while he's backed up.
From the 5-yard line, Brees from his own end zone completes to the 10. And Brandon Cooks a few more yards after that before going out of bounds. There's the defensive coordinator you were talking about.
John Pagano is an aggressive play caller now.
He's been here a long time through a lot. He's been here as long as the missions, I think. It's great to talk to him. He's so enthusiastic, loves his job, loves the city.
He'll survive anything down here. He'll survive everything here.
Hand off to Ingram. That'll bring up a 3rd down. Let's get another game break with Carissa.
Well, Chris, Denver at Tampa Bay, 3 minutes left in the second. The Broncos were up 14-7, and Trevor Siemian thrown to the ground. He was carted off. The Broncos are saying it's a left shoulder injury. Paxton Lynch, the rookie from Memphis, is in the game now. Chris?
That's unfortunate news for the defending Super Bowl champion Broncos. Now 3rd down 9.
New Orleans Saints are 7 of 8 on 3rd down today, Chris. They've been losing in man-to-man coverage. It looks like they're in man coverage right now. See if they're able to stand up, get off the field here.
Brees has to backpedal and goes down at the goal line. The ball looks like the ball may have come out. It's not ruled a safety, but Melvin Ingram got there. And he kept his feet and the ball. It appeared out of the end zone.
Here's Melvin Ingram. Look at the game. And he's so quick through the line of scrimmage. All he needed was a half second to get through that gap, and watch him explode towards the quarterback here. He falling down, gets Drew Brees, and that's not a safety because where he was contacted, Drew Brees was outside of that white line. They spotted it right on the 1.
Appreciate the clarification. Morstead from his own end zone, and McCluster, make that Benjamin on that side, has a chance, and he goes out of bounds. So considering where they were, that was a good play for the Saints, so it didn't get any worse. But the Charger defense rising to the occasion. Rivers turn with a 3-point lead. The NFL and the American Cancer Society encourage everyone to join in the fight against breast cancer. Find out how you can help at NFL.com/pink. Throughout this month, the sorority Zeta Tau Alpha, ZTA, holding over 500 events annually to raise awareness for breast cancer research. And they are here in full force. Melvin Ingram, by the way, 6.5 sacks in his last 4 home games for this Charger team. That forced New Orleans into a punting situation, and now
backed up punts, Chris. You and I talk about this on a weekly basis. You get a defense to keep an offense down, they got to punt it out of the end zone. You're only 1 first down really from being in field goal range. But the way this offense is moving, I wouldn't be surprised to see them take a shot at the end zone right now, Chris. You're on we call this the alumni zone when I was playing. Everybody in the stand wants to see you make a big play here right after a quick turn of a possession.
Already Rivers with a big play. Ken Wisenhunt dialing up to Dontrell Inman of a 57-yard touchdown connection. Gordon continues to be the running back. 7 carries, just 20 yards.
Hey, blood Phil! Hey, blood Phil! Mike Falco, stay there! Stay there!
Melvin Gordon inside the 45 before he's spun around.
Well, the New Orleans Saints, I think, Chris, have got to, and they're trying to play safe and protect some of these guys on the back end. Some of the got young corners, you got a young safety starting, you got 2 new linebackers that haven't played really many defensive snaps. They're going to have to get a little more aggressive on defense, I think.
Chargers letting this run down to the 2-minute warning. They have the ball in Saints territory, and the Chargers have the lead. You're watching the NFL on Fox from San Diego. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. The San Diego State Band here. We mentioned Sean Payton's coaching career began at San Diego State, also launched the careers of coaches like John Madden and Joe Gibbs, Hall of Famers and successful in other ventures.
White! Hey, hot! Set! Hey, Kappa! Hey, Kappa! Delta! Touch!
Second and 7, Rivers pass. It's Inman again. He's got a first down inside the 34-yard line. And, you know, the veteran Rivers has to play coach sometimes out there as well.
I thought this was funny. You know, 13-year difference between the rookie and the veteran quarterback. Look, buddy, no, over there. But then, look, he pays attention. He gets the key block there. Good job, Rook.
Of course, and Hunter Henry has a touchdown catch in this game as well. Looks like Chris Hairston and the Chargers a timeout with the injury here. They'll have 2 remaining in the half. Hairston was slow to get up. And looks like Orlando Franklin has come back in at left guard. He left earlier with an injury.
And, of course, Hairston's in there for the injured King Dunlap, who's been dealing with migraines for the past couple of days. So a little stressed on the offensive line here for the San Diego Chargers.
But they're a heavy offensive line.
They are heavy. This is, yeah. You look at the lineup sheet, and I don't think anybody on this offensive line is under 315 pounds. A lot of beef. Could be a reason why Melvin Gordon's having the start to the season that he is.
And Spencer Pulley has come back in to help out. Ball at the 32.
Well, Pulley went over to right guard, and then DJ Fluker, who in all reality is a offensive tackle anyways, I think is going to be at right tackle now, and then Barksdale, number 72, goes to left tackle.
If you don't sort it out, Phillip Rivers will before he snaps the football.
It doesn't matter as long as they got it right on the field.
73! Hey! Rudy! 5-2, Robbie! Hey!
Quick pass is on target to Gordon. Gets inside the 25. We'll see how close that is to a first down.
Well, this defense is really, I think, just trying to mitigate some damage here, because, and this poor guy.
He had 2 footballs to act as a cushion. It brings up second down and 3. 147 remaining as Gordon carries.
I'll get back to my thought that I was getting ready to make before we mentioned that ball boy, but this defense is really just trying to mitigate some of the damage here going into half. They need another stop, hold them to a field goal opportunity so they can go in and make some adjustments, Chris. They're trying to do things the right way, and this defense is still trying to figure itself out with all these new players playing today. They cannot afford to give up a touchdown, I don't think, right now.
We have a timeout by the Saints defense. Dennis Allen, the coordinator, nearing the 200-yard mark for the Charger offense. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson again.
Dallas at San Francisco. Bryce Butler starting in place of an injured Des Bryant. A 4-yard touchdown pass from Dak Prescott. Second of the day for Prescott, all tied up at 14 apiece after that last field goal. Chris?
Thanks, Carissa. The Cowboys doing it with youth. And something here, Dontrell Inman, the 3rd-year receiver, a career-best 89 yards today, including a touchdown catch from Rivers. They did get the first down. 2 timeouts for San Diego, 3 for the Saints. Three safeties in for the Saints. Rivers goes underneath to Gordon, who cuts it to the middle of the field and is tackled down around the 13. Looked like the ball came out a little bit. Let's see. Now they're going to rule him down. And we're going to have a timeout by the Saints.
Well, the Saints are playing that kind of big nickel. Kenny Vaccaro, who I think this team likes playing near the line of scrimmage, is really that kind of nickelback role. Even though he is a safety, he has the ability, and I think he's better down near the line of scrimmage than in the middle of the field. But I think they want their bigger bodies in there, because you know that Phillip Rivers and his offense is really just trying to get the ball into the flat, and they need good tacklers in there on that second level of the defense.
Just over a minute and a half. Remember, the Chargers will get the ball to start the second half. One timeout remaining for Brees and the Saints. The Chargers have 2. And facing a 2nd down and 1 just inside the 15.
And thanks for finishing my point there, Chris. Exactly. If the Chargers go in here and score a touchdown and then get the ball coming out of half, that is a real demoralizing feeling for the Saints defense.
It's only a 3-point game at the moment. That's Inman in motion. Melvin Gordon. Here comes a flag as he goes down right away.
Holding, number 76, offense, 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's on DJ Fluker. So that'll back him up. First penalty accepted. Actually, that would be, yes. First one on San Diego. 3 have been accepted on the Saints.
Those are big feet right there, Chris.
Size 22 shoe.
Jeez.
And that's created the penalty maybe. That's he couldn't move him fast enough. Or he moved him too fast.
I'm going to tell him you said that.
No, don't say anything. 2nd and 12. Batted down and incomplete. What a play by Kruger. Ruled incomplete right away by the officiating crew. And now it's 3rd down.
Yeah, good quick hands here by Kruger right here at the end of the line of scrimmage. Sees this quick pass. You know Phillip Rivers has that sidearm shot put delivery. Still not able to get it under Paul Kruger's big mitt there. Big 3rd down here for the New Orleans Saints on defense. They've been playing a lot of soft zone over the middle, and Phillip Rivers been tearing it apart. Let's see what they give them here.
Rivers gets rid of it. That's Melvin Gordon fighting to get near the 1st down. It's going to be close. And now you're maybe looking at a decision.
Oh, that's just frustrating for the New Orleans Saints.
He got the 1st down. What a great effort.
Yeah, great effort by Melvin Gordon, but frustrating by the New Orleans Saints because you get Phillip Rivers to check the football down to the running back, and then Roman Harper has to make a tackle. Kenny Vaccaro has to make a tackle. Nate Stupar, whoever these Saints defenders are, can't get the big running back on the ground. He's able to pick up the much-needed 1st down there.
A gain of 12. You got to check out Lethal Weapon. Damon Wayans and Clayne Crawford. Perfect as Murtaugh and Riggs. It's action, comedy, and drama. All in one place. Catch an all-new episode of Lethal Weapon Wednesday on Fox. And they are going to review the spot. We're under 2 minutes before the half, so it would be automatic. They just want to make sure Walt Coleman, since it was a 3rd down play, ruled on the field as enough for the 1st down, although it looked close.
Well, either way, it doesn't delay the effort of Melvin Gordon. Look at this, 4 or 5 Saints converging on this, and he runs through 2 of them. And maybe it's Vaughn Bell there, comes in at the last second and pushes him just short of the line to gain. It'll be interesting to see what Walt Coleman and his crew see on this replay.
And there, of course, there's a conduit on the field that could give you a thumbs up. Mike Pereira watches everything, our rules analyst for Fox, keeping an eye on this. And Mike, will there be enough to kind of overturn this? What do you think?
No, I don't think there will be. I think the live shot that we showed saw that he got right to the line. And I know the yellow line's unofficial, but when he first makes contact, that's very close. No way they can overturn that and make it short.
Okay.
Well, Mike, could they put the ball down?
Let's hear from Walt Coleman.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
Mike, would they ever put the ball down and bring the chains out in that situation?
They would if they were going to move it. I mean, if they were going to move it and thought that then there might be question, yes, they could put the spot down and put the ball down and then measure. But I really think in that shot there showed it was really a good spot. It was right on the solid line.
Thanks, Mike Pereira, as always, keeping an eye on things. He's also on Twitter. He watches every game. I don't know if the guy ever sleeps, but he's always reviewing the officials and their reviews.
He's good like that.
Yeah, and catch his book, by the way, too, if you get a chance. It's a good read.
Is he paying you to sell that? Come on.
First down. First down. McCluster checks in at running back. And Rivers gets the ball to him. He gets down to the 10-yard line. I guess part of the objective here for the Chargers, Ronde, they want to get all the points they can, but not leave any time for Drew Brees and the Saints on the other side of this.
That's exactly right. You don't want to score too fast here. I think that's why you're seeing the patient movement of this offense. They're obviously at the line of scrimmage, but they're not playing hurry-up football like a normal 2-minute. They want to bleed this clock down as much as they can.
Second down, 8 for a first down, 10 for a touchdown. End zone throw, catch. Did he keep his feet in? No. Hunter Henry almost had his second catch, having to come out from under the draping there.
This is almost a spectacular catch. Really good throw by Phillip Rivers. Took some time to find his target, but the ball is right on time, and Hunter Henry's just can't get that left foot down. And he's got to be careful near this boundary. I didn't realize that stadium was that close.
He's 6'5" and in the range of 250. Third down and 8. Rivers throws one up for grabs, and the catch is made, but who got it? It was the Saints. Jairus Byrd on the takeaway.
Well, it's a shame because it's coming back. This is encroachment across the D-line.
Offside, number 90, defense in the neutral zone at the snap. That's the distance.
There was just the flinch by Nick Fairley, ever so slightly.
And it was very close, but the flag came down immediately. And you'll see it. You see Fairley off to a slow start, number 90 right there. That's because he was getting back in stance. Now, I'm not sure if Phillip Rivers knew that, understood that he had a free play, but to me it looked like Hunter Henry was going to come down with this. Way to climb the ladder there, Jairus Byrd, and get that ball out of his hands, but alas for not.
Chargers get the ball back, 3rd and 3, 2 timeouts, and they're that much closer to a first down and a touchdown. Rivers gives to Melvin Gordon, spun in the air at the goal line. And the Chargers use a timeout.
Well, Phillip Rivers did a lot of work to set up a draw. It looked like he was checking to a pass, but man, yeah, I think his right shoulder there is on the ground, so he's going to be down just short of the goal line. A strong hit there by Robertson. It's close though, Chris. I think this picture shows it best. Down when a body part hits, and the ball is not over that white line. So correct spot again by these officials.
They're on top of it, the forearm touchdown. Craig Robertson came in leading the NFL in tackles for that Saints defense, preventing the touchdown. Extra lineman in. Melvin Gordon runs into a wall and then threw it. Touchdown for San Diego. His 5th rushing touchdown this year.
Say what you want to about last year, but this dude, all he does is watch a fullback, is score touchdowns, get a great lead off the corner on Nate Stupar, and he just powers his way over the goal line for the touchdown. You remember the Saints were off the field with an interception. Nick Fairley in the neutral zone. The Chargers capitalize and put 7 points on the board here right before the half.
The penalty helped and San Diego took advantage. The extra point by Lambeau. And now it's a 10-point lead. 24-14 Chargers. Rivers still fired up. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee in a cute halftime.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, we'll check in on all the games in the National Football League and get coaching tips from Super Bowl 51 halftime performer Lady Gaga.
Well, Kurt, you know, in a traditional 3-4, the nose tackle plays a zero technique, but is responsible for covering both the A-gaps.
Is that a gap joke?
Yeah.
It's coming up on the Visa Halftime.
It was a gap joke. It was.
The Super Bowl on Fox. Quite a ways off.
I don't even know what to say about that.
That's why I went on to the Super Bowl promo. They'll have all the highlights of the Visa Halftime Report. How about the Cowboys and 49ers tied? Denver leading, but an injured quarterback in Tampa Bay. The Rams and the Arizona Cardinals are also tied. And here, Phillip Rivers, the top gun so far in the duel between him and Brees in San Diego.
Full half to play yet. I think it's only going to get more interesting. And if you're Drew Brees, a lot of times you feel like he has to do it all himself. When he gets the ball in the second half, he's going to have to do it all himself again, I think, Chris.
This is Tavares Cadet. Knocked down with just 8 seconds, 7 seconds or so before the half. Falcon offense red hot. Over 500 passing yards for Matt Ryan. Phillip Rivers taking an early exit to the half with 7 seconds remain. Brees started out hot, opening drive, took him in for a touchdown, handing it to Ingram, and then a touchdown pass. 134 yards in the first half for Brees through the air. Rivers nearing 200. And that is the end of the first half. Chargers lead the Saints 24-14, and San Diego gets the football to start the third quarter. Let's head to Los Angeles on the Visa Halftime Report. Today's excitement brought to you by the new Nissan Titan. 2 quarterbacks, once teammates, always competitors, and striking early Ingram for New Orleans, and then the 437 career touchdown toss for Drew Brees. But Phillip Rivers answers with a couple of touchdown tosses and a key turnover, an interception by the Chargers of Brees, tipping this. And that was today's excitement, brought to you by the new Nissan Titan, as we come to you from the booth in San Diego with Rondé Barber and Chris Myers. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday and the NFL on Fox. Well, let's first talk about what the Saints have to do. We know they need to score and play catch-up here, down by 10, but how do they go about it?
Well, they got to get off the football field on defense. And, Chris, this has been their problem all year. They don't have that one guy that in a crucial moment is going to come up and make a play for you. That's got to start happening in the second half, or they're going to lose this game. They're going to be chasing it like they chase every game. They've been chasing every game all year.
And for the Chargers, they have the lead. You know that Rivers can light it up, but also they've committed to the running game here. Now they can kind of kill the clock, protect that lead.
Absolutely, Chris. You took the words out of my mouth. I don't doubt that they won't try to take the air out of this football. Run it, little dink and dunks, and try to keep the ball away from that man, Drew Brees.
Don't want to leave him too much time at the end of the game and be in striking distance, as Dexter McCluster is back to return by himself. Will Lutz kick, and he's coming out of the end zone. McCluster stopped short of the 15-yard line. A win for the Saints special teams, and Kasim Adebali making the special teams play to pin the Charger offense back deep to start this second half. Let's head down to the field and Jennifer Hale.
Well, Chris, Sean Payton tells me he's taking the gloves off of this young Saints defense. As Rondé mentioned last half, yes, indeed, they tried to protect these younger guys. A lot of cover, too, in that first half. But get ready for some man-to-man as they do their best to try and affect Phillip Rivers. Meanwhile, Mike McCoy tells me he's pleased with how Rivers is handling the emotions of today's game. He does want to see more run, more balance, and needs this team to close, something they've had challenges with so far this season, Chris.
Thank you very much. 2 quarterbacks, both very emotional, very different personalities. as Melvin Gordon carries. Gets up to the 15-yard line.
Very valid points there by Jen. They got to close. They got to finish football game. Two losses this year. Had a big lead against the Chiefs early in the year and lost. They weren't able to finish and close. Last week against Indianapolis, they had a chance to go down and finish and win that football game. They weren't able to do it. We got a full 30 minutes of football here to see if they've corrected some of those issues.
Well, the Saints could make that same argument. They had the Raiders in the opener in a scoring affair. As Gordon carries, there's a flag down, dropped right away. See Rivers frustrated. And the Saints played well with the Giants on the road. Some special teams play, and they lost a close game there. That was their best defensive effort.
Illegal shift, 2 men moving and not resetting. That penalty's declined. 3rd down.
You know what, Chris, you're exactly right, because the Giants game, I thought was their best game of the year, and it's a game minus that block punt or block field goal for a touchdown. They're in it, maybe winning. And in the Oakland game, which we did, it was a shootout, and I swear if they hadn't got that 2-point conversion, the Raiders hadn't got that 2-point conversion, New Orleans would have went down and scored and won that football game. But as it stands, they're 0-3, and they got to try to find a way to get back into this game today.
And the Chargers 1-2, thinking they could be 3-0. Teams that have battled injury and mistakes.
Number 16. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Receiver Tyrell Williams called for the penalty, and you can see Rivers is getting frustrated here.
You just start the half. You don't need procedural fouls on offense. You want to come out to a fast start. You finish strong to end the half. Got 10 points. You come out with 2 immediate penalties that back you up into a 3rd and long situation.
Hey, go get team! Get team! Get team! Get team, Phil! Get team! You got the swing. Delta! Done!
Batted incomplete. He was trying to get the ball to Melvin Gordon. Edabali, who made that special teams play, pinning him deep, makes that play, and now it's a punting situation for Drew Kaiser in San Diego.
Well, that's the start you want if you're a New Orleans Saint. Right, you get a 3-and-out, quick 3-and-out, get the ball back to your offense. You're going to have favorable field position now with Drew Brees. See if you can go down here and make this a close game here, Chris, early in the second half.
Here comes a flag and looks like a delay.
Delay of the game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Well, they only had 1 penalty in the first half, and a rash of them here pushes Kaiser further back. It gives Tommy Lee a chance from midfield, depending upon how far this kick goes. Gets it out of there. Bounces and rolls, and Lewis picks it up and is run out of bounds right away. Phillip Rivers the lead, but frustration after penalties ruined their offensive series to start the half.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Ford F-Series, the official truck of the NFL. And by Miller Lite, the original light beer.
The return of Drew Brees, his first time as a Saint back in San Diego. He wears that number 9 in honor of Ted Williams, his baseball hero. Of course, Ted San Diego born. And Brees coming back, a quirk in the schedule. They've played before. He's gone against the Chargers, but just not here in San Diego. Flew in Saturday from New Orleans, got a walkthrough at the stadium, and is now trailing by 10. On first down, incomplete. Michael Thomas couldn't hold it, and he knew it.
They're your leading tacklers. No surprise there that Jatavis Brown, starting in the middle, has been very active so far today.
Mark Ingram maybe to the 46-yard line. Will bring up third down.
Well, Mark Ingram, he had some nice runs earlier in the game, but since then, he's averaging about 2 yards a carry. That's a credit to what these guys are doing up front here for the Chargers defense. And Brandon Mebane, we've shown him, Darius Philon and Corey Leach are really taking advantage of this offensive line.
Travaris Cadet comes in at running back. Usually, Willie Snead, who's back active for this game. Kobe Fleener was big on Monday for Brees. See where he goes on 3rd and 8. He has a moment and completes. That is Kobe Fleener for a first down. The former Colt, who has 1 touchdown catch this season.
Well, you mentioned Kobe Fleener had a big game. He's hiding behind that goalpost on your vision here. But watch how patient Drew Brees is. That's the receiver he's looking for. And what always has amazed me is how Drew Brees finds those windows amongst those trees of offensive linemen and completes that ball there.
As he hands to Ingram. The size of Drew Brees. I asked John Pagano, the defensive coordinator of the Chargers, you and I were out of practice on Friday. Hey, can you take advantage of the height differential, how, the shortness of Brees as a quarterback? He said no. He finds the passing lanes. He knows where everybody is, including the defensive players.
It's a great question because we all wonder about it, but he's been doing it for this long in a very effective manner. I think John Pagano knows there's just some guys are just good at what they do.
2nd down 4, floating one for Ingram. And a nice catch on the run, a well-placed football.
That's an outstanding catch because Jatavis Brown can't be in better position than this. And the New Orleans Saints love to run this little wheel route. And Mark Ingram, we saw the great catch he had earlier. Just add this one to the resume of great catches for this running back here in New Orleans.
Tim Hightower checks in. Ingram had 10 catches coming in. He's already got 3 today. And they've been tough ones. After a gain of 20, Hightower fighting his way down around the 7-yard line. Opening possession of this 3rd quarter for the Saints. The Chargers got the ball, but penalties backed them up after a big special teams play. They were pinned inside, and good field position. Drew Brees taking advantage.
Well, it's the drive they needed coming out of the half. You get to stop on defense, which they weren't really showing that late in the second half. Give the ball to Drew Brees, let him work his magic, go down here and score.
Tommy Lee Lewis is in the backfield. He gets the pitch, waiting for a block, and gets run out of bounds as he leaps toward the first down marker. He's only 5'7", the free agent from Northern Illinois.
But he is very, very fast. And I mentioned this earlier in the game. They do so much window dressing on their offense with the motion, the realignment, putting a diminutive wide receiver in the backfield and running a toss play to him. Very creative offense you got here with the New Orleans Saints.
From the 5-yard line, it's 3rd down and 3. Eight out of 10 on 3rd down today for the Saints. Ingram is a receiver. Top of your screen, that's him coming back towards Brees.
First team timeout, New Orleans.
Saints wisely called time, or they would have been penalized. The play clock running down. 3 for a first down, 5 for a touchdown after the Saints timeout. Saturday college football, the Red River Showdown, a rivalry that spans generations. The Sooners taking on the Texas Longhorns. Coverage 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. So a match of defensive thinking here when you got a guy like Brees and his efficiency on 3rd down.
Well, you know the Saints, if they come back in the same formation they were, they spread you out so they can identify what you're trying to do on defense. If he has a bunch of one-on-one matchups, all Drew Brees is going to do is pick his favorite and try to dice you into the end zone and see what they got coming here on defense.
Brees, pass is caught by Ingram. He's got the first down, and he's ruled down right away.
And Drew Brees wanted his tight end right there in the flat. He wanted this shot right here, but good coverage by the Chargers and just quick reflexes. He knows where his check down is, his outlet. Doesn't have to score a touchdown, but he gets the first down.
Saints will bring in the extra lineman here. From the 2-yard line, it's 1st and goal. Ruled down right away on that. Saints fans travel well, and many of them here to make noise. Chargers are going to use a timeout.
First team timeout, San Diego.
Well, the defenses are getting tested. These two quarterbacks, whoever they play, and now against each other, once teammates, the great storyline. And since Drew Brees left San Diego and Phillip Rivers arrived here as a Charger, these were their numbers coming into the day. I'm impressed with all the great numbers. Look how many yards, and that leads the NFL during that time. But the game's missed. These guys show up every day for work and deliver.
Yeah, they are the most durable, trained type athletes that have played the position in the league, and those numbers speak for that, right? Because you don't miss any football games. You are able to avoid injury. That goes back to their training, obviously their competitiveness. Two great players on display here today in San Diego.
Brees is 6'5", just 6 feet. Rivers is 6'5", as Kuhn carries and is in the end zone for a Saints touchdown. His second touchdown of the day.
Well, you would think that the scouting report would tell you that John Kuhn lines up in the I formation at fullback. They are going to hand it to him on a dive. He's a big guy, mostly blocking type fullback, but he can do this. Really nice athletic move, getting over the top of that pile. Good push by Max Unger. Touchdown, Saints.
The former Packer. He had the only rushing touchdown coming into the day for this Saints team. He's caught a touchdown and run for a touchdown, and Ingram has added one on the ground. And just an official review, as all scoring plays are, to be confirmed.
I think it's pretty clear that he lands past that white line for a touchdown, and
the field communicator just gave the thumbs up. And now for the extra point. Will Lutz to make it a 3-point difference to draw the Saints a little bit closer. A one-time Packer, John Kuhn, delivering for the Saints. They're down just 3. Michael Motti, the special teams player who got the start at linebacker today. His father, Rich, a former Saint player as well, but toughing it out on the teams as well. And the special teams have done a good job today.
Yeah, we always pay due to the guys on teams. They're somewhat overshadowed, but you got to think that a guy like him and some of these other linebackers that are having to start Nate Stupar having to play 60-some snaps on defense is going to affect them somewhat on special teams.
No return this time. Last time they pinned the Chargers inside the 15. Rivers will start from the 25-yard line, hoping that penalties don't back up his offense, trying to protect a 3-point lead.
This game is sponsored by Verizon. Welcome to Verizon LTE Advanced, the next-gen network.
Fans remembering Brees drafted by the Chargers with the first pick of the second round back in 2001, spending 5 years with the Chargers, and then moving on after the injury to New Orleans when Phillip Rivers took over.
That guy couldn't decide which quarterback jersey he wanted.
They're both so likable, great to have on your fantasy team. Ingram. Seems like both of these quarterbacks are trying to get the running game going, but they know they're at their best when they're throwing the football.
Yeah, it really is. You know, they especially for New Orleans. You know, Sean Payton is almost run-averse. I mean, they throw the ball almost more than anybody in the league, almost 74% of the time. I think good football teams, and Sean understands this, and he'll tell you as much. You have to have some balance. You have to be able to turn around and hand it to your guy and get the tough yards and make this game a lot shorter than it normally is. You don't want Drew Brees to have to carry the load every single week.
After a 4-yard pickup, he gets rid of it quickly, and it was almost intercepted. Leaping in front on what has already been a beat-up defense was Dexter McCoyle from the safety spot.
And he's a unique-looking athlete, isn't he now? 6'4", 200 pounds, played linebacker in the CFL. It's a great story, Chris. Comes in with the injury to a dive. And I don't think he has great ball skills, but he was all over that play there.
A 6'4" safety almost made a big pick. On third down, Brees for Cooks. Some pushing and shoving going on, but no flag. And Jason Verrett, as you pointed out early, the coverage on Cooks. 3 catches today for Cooks.
I give you a premium matchup of the day every week, Chris, right? This was my premium matchup, Cooks versus Verrett. And you see it, 3 completions, nothing like last week, though, when T.Y. Hilton had a day against Verrett. He's holding up his own.
A big defensive stand by the Chargers. Morstead driving Benjamin, who's waving everybody away, and this kick is going to roll inside the 5. And what a punt from Morstead. 62-yard punt and no return. The Charger offense will start in a hole again, but they have a 3-point lead. After the 62-yard punt, no return. Good kick coverage. Both of the running backs, by the way, are the leading receivers in this game. Ingram has 4 catches for New Orleans. Gordon has 5 to lead San Diego. Ball at the Charger 4-yard line on first down. Gordon knocked backwards. Despite that Stupar from his linebacker position, averaging only 2.5 a carry today is Gordon, despite a touchdown run.
Well, they got Davison back up front. I think that's been a big addition to them. Back into the lineup, you see just the wall of defenders there for the Saints. Nowhere for Melvin Gordon to go, and then Nate Stupar cleans it up.
Second down, Rivers' pass is complete. First catch of the game for Tyrell Williams, and it's a first down. He averages 18 yards a catch, the second-year free agent. He picked up 12.
Always asking questions who these big wide receivers are. I'd never heard of Tyrell Williams, so I put the film on and said, wow, the guy can run, he's big, he's got good hands. Been a very reliable target for Phillip Rivers this year.
His first career catch in the NFL in 2015 went 80 yards for a touchdown against the Broncos. Rivers to throw again, incomplete for Travis Benjamin, who only has 2 catches today.
Phillip Rivers looks frustrated there. It looked like he wanted to get rid of that ball. His receiver wasn't looking, wasn't ready for it. And again, I think this may have been a run play that they were checking to one of those options. The pass is better than the banging your head on the wall type run, and they weren't on the same page.
Team did sign Griff Whalen, former Stanford and Colt, who's active for the Chargers today at receiver on 2nd and 10. That's caught by Benjamin and should be good enough for the first down. Let's check in again with Carissa Thompson.
Chris, we head to San Francisco. Dallas was down by as much as 14 at one point, but Ezekiel Elliott with this 1-yard touchdown run, it capped off a 10-play, 78-yard drive. The Cowboys up 21-17. Chris, Rondé, and Jen.
All right, thank you very much, Carissa. Here it's 24-21. The Saints in the second half have cut in to what was a 10-point halftime Charger lead. The first down for Rivers and the offense. He fakes to Gordon and goes underneath. 6th catch of the game for Melvin Gordon.
Phillip Rivers really wanted to push that ball in the seam to his tight end, Hunter Henry, and he's given enough time. He finds Melvin Gordon. This is why they're leading the team in receptions. There's been some decent coverage down the field now here in the second half. These Saints playing some more man-to-man.
It's got to be tough for guys who are gunslingers like Rivers and Brees to be patient.
Well, you got to figure with both of these teams, turnovers are the only thing that's going to kill you. That's part of finishing games, protecting the football. That's what Phillip Rivers is trying to do here. Rivers' pass is incomplete, trying to go to Williams.
B.W. Webb was running with him. That 6'4" frame of Tyrell Williams hitting the ground hard.
Really good coverage by B.W. Webb here. I thought this could have been pass interference. You see his right arm wrapped around Williams' waist there, and the back judge back there, I think, was thinking about it as well. But his injury, Chris, looks to be his arm went down hard with that defender on his back.
Griff Whalen checks in. Melvin Gordon splits out as a wide receiver at the bottom of your screen on 3rd and 4. Rivers incomplete. The coverage was good. Craig Robertson kept it away from his tight end, Hunter Henry.
Well, the Saints' decision to play a little bit more aggressive here is definitely paying off. Phillip Rivers was having his way with this secondary earlier, and just watch your middle linebacker right here. Phillip Rivers tries to find them late. Good athletic play. They're off the field.
Under 5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter, and the only points, that touchdown by the Saints. Final bounces and rolls inside the 30.
Hey, you know what, Chris? This is funny. I was doing this play. Look at these guys. Free admission for Mourning Doves. They're enjoying the view from up top.
They know these are precision passers. They don't have to worry about the ball.
Yeah, they want to come see Drew Brees too. You kidding me? They've been here in 11 years.
A bird's eye view. I'm sure they'll vote yes on Measure C for a new stadium here. More on that in a bit. Need 2/3 majority. Just a hotel tax, not the residents of California, to keep the Chargers here with a new stadium. Pressure coming. Kobe Fleener holds on and is thrown down by Melvin Ingram.
A good play by Melvin Ingram there. That was really close to him slipping out of that tackle and picking up some big yards. Drew Brees had a free rusher right in his face. Gets the ball out quick, and this easily could have been extra yardage, but Melvin Ingram, the handful of jersey, makes a nice play.
Ingram had a sack earlier, almost a safety. 2nd down 8. Brees on the move, has to get rid of it. Brees has been sacked twice, Rivers sacked once. The only turnover, 2nd quarter, and it really swung this game, otherwise relatively even.
It really did feel like an even game, didn't it, until that turnover. They get down, and Saints held them to 3 points, but on the next possession, they had a backed up situation with a penalty, and they were able to take that 10-point lead. But the Saints answered to start the half. They got a huge 3rd down here, 3rd and 9. See if they can convert and keep this drive going.
Extra pressure on Brees in the pocket. Ball is deflected as he got it out of there. He was hit. And it's 4th down. Corey Liuget eventually moved Brees off his mark.
Corey Liuget's right in there and just going through 2 or 3 guys here, and Drew Brees not able to follow through on that delivery, and the Chargers get off on 3rd down.
Last time a 62-yarder. Morstead back inside the 11 is Benjamin. Showing some speed as he gets up across the 20. There's a flag down right at the 19-yard line. That was a 59-yard punt.
Next to first man of bounds.
Receiver going out of bounds on his own. Number 21, of the kicking team. That 5-yard penalty will be added on. First down.
That call on Devontae Harris. Sean Payton with Harris also having a move where Sterling Moore is starting ahead of him, again because of injuries at corner.
And Devontae Harris, we all know, if you're a Saints watcher, had the big mistake last week on the punt return. He's talking to special teams coordinator Greg McMahon there, trying to get him right. Knows a rookie's going to make mistakes, but
moves the ball up to around the 26-yard line. First down, Chargers still looking for their first points of this second half. Rivers open in the middle of the field, just kind of slung it to Dontrell Inman.
Good catch by Dontrell Inman.
Look at the smile from Rivers.
That ball was not well delivered. It was behind him.
We know he's got a fastball.
Yeah, this is, he almost barely sees Dontrell. Just a great snag. You see his hands, those big yellow gloves, snatching that out of the air.
Second down 4. He fakes. Rivers has time. It is going deep for Benjamin. And out of bounds, incomplete. Webb was back there.
Great play. That is a great play by DB Webb. Sorry, BW Webb, but he's, you know, they do some creative stuff in the secondary. He was playing corner actually in that safety role there. The safety was up in the flat. And not to panic at the end of that play. Just run your hands through the receiver's hands and knock it away.
Well, I mentioned that Rivers has not thrown an interception this year. The Saint defense does not have an interception this season. Third down 4. Low snap handled by Rivers. The pass is on target. It's Inman with a first down to the 46 of the Saints.
That ball felt like it was in the air forever. I think both players thought this play was over. It almost looks like the Saints defender just kind of quits on the play here. And Phillip Rivers is so good about putting the ball out on time. Inman wasn't even starting out of his break when he let go of that. Nice communication or understanding between quarterback and receiver for that big first down.
He had 5 catches coming into the game. He has 6 for over 115 yards. And a touchdown, Dontrell Inman. And Inman again. 2 Saints bounce him around. He pops up inside the 45. Inman was signed by the Chargers in 2014 after playing 2 years with Toronto in the Canadian Football League. The Jags, actually his first opportunity in 2011, but was cut there. Jags winning today.
He went to the right school, that's all I know, Chris.
Virginia, your school. The Bears won today, so Cleveland is winless, and the Saints are winless. And Rivers gets away and unloads it. Let's get a game break. Speaking of other NFL activity, here's Carissa Thompson.
Denver at Tampa Bay, Chris. Trevor Siemian went out in the second quarter with a left shoulder injury. So the rookie out of Memphis, Paxton Lynch, in the game with that 5-yard touchdown pass to Emmanuel Sanders, has the Broncos up 27-7. Chris, Rondo, and Denver.
Thank you very much. Broncos taking on the Atlanta Falcons in Denver next weekend. A big win by Atlanta at home against the defending NFC champion Carolina Panthers. Third down 7. 43 of the Saints. Complete, and that's Hunter Henry for the first down. Kenny Vaccaro had him, but Henry stretched.
Well, just a little zone pressure, and Henry's just going to run right underneath it. Vacated the area. Kenny Vaccaro's got to make a stronger tackle there. And just great effort, though, by Hunter Henry. Pick up that extra yard or so for the first down.
His third catch of the game and a touchdown in the first half.
Hunter Henry's a guy, you could tell, he's spending some time with Antonio Gates. The subtleties of the position, you see it in the young player. That's got to come from having a guy like Gates in your room. Incomplete.
Inman the target. Hunter Henry, the 4th-round pick from Arkansas, the 2015 Mackey Award winner, is the nation's top tight end. His senior season at Arkansas, he did not drop a single pass, not one, sure-handed. So with the tutelage of Antonio Gates and the trust of Philip Rivers, he's becoming a go-to guy at that position.
He's got really nice quickness. There's a lot of things that I like him for a big kid, and you're absolutely right, Chris. The one thing he does outstanding is catch the football.
Blitz coming. Rivers throws high in a mix-up. Tyrell Williams was one in the area, and Rivers is wondering what went wrong there.
Well, the Saints are getting aggressive. They cannot. I don't think they can stand what's happening to their defense when they don't play aggressive football. Philip Rivers is just too good, and he just picks apart these little zones. So why not if you're Dennis Allen? Call your blitzes, put your guys in one man-on-man coverage, and say you have to win if we're going to win this football game.
And it looks like the Chargers have figured out they can't waste many more plays with the run at the moment. They need some more points. 3rd and 10. Rivers. And the catch made. That's Williams coming back to the football.
I think it's a credit to the Saints defense that they're stopping the run and putting it on Philip Rivers to have to throw. But they blitz again. You'll see the pressure off the left side there, but Philip Rivers just stands in there with good protection and throws a dart to Tyrell Williams for the first down.
A pickup of 11. Rivers loves a challenge. You want him to throw, he'll throw. That's 11 straight passes. And the end of the 3rd quarter with the Chargers clinging to a 3-point lead. Rivers and Brees going at it. The 4th quarter ahead. You're watching the NFL on Fox. Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, our NFL on Fox crew. Another picture-perfect day in San Diego weather-wise. And the sun-drenched crowd enjoying a matchup of Drew Brees, the Charger originally, back as a Saint. More than a decade later, his first game here in this stadium. And Philip Rivers, the man who backed him up, was drafted to replace him and has. And right now has a 3-point lead.
Well, Mike McCoy, Ken Wisenhunt, Chris, you were incredulous about whether or not they really have thrown 11 straight passes. Yes, they have thrown 11 straight passes because they cannot get a running game going. We know that Melvin Gordon has the 1 touchdown, but he's only averaging 2.3 yards per carry. And Philip Rivers' arm is heating up at the right time for this Chargers offense.
Hey, let's go blind tiger! Blind tiger! 32's the mark! 32's the mark! Blind tiger!
Melvin Gordon runs straight ahead and into a crowd, shoved to the 25-yard line. So the ground game frustration continues for the Chargers. Let's check in with Jennifer.
Chris, the sense of urgency here on the Saints sideline is palpable. A lot of players pacing, focusing, one-on-one battles with themselves inside their minds. This team knows they need a win before the bye to avoid 0-4, but they want this one for Drew Brees, who has yet to sit down since halftime, Chris.
Thank you very much. The Saints, one of 2 teams winless, have a chance to change that. Cleveland went to 0-4 with their loss, but the Bears and Jacksonville won today. Rivers. And what a catch, sliding Tyrell Williams.
What a catch. How about what a throw. Philip Rivers almost gets his head taken off here. But look at the hands on Tyrell Williams. Great catch. Special play.
Nearing the 300-yard mark today. Already with a couple of touchdowns, Philip Rivers. Dexter McCluster, that's number 33, lines up in the slot. McCluster down around the 5-yard line.
We finally got a couple of runs on this drive, and I tell you, almost feels like they're in that hurry up 2-minute type of offense here with the talk about the urgency on the Saints sideline. Somebody on that Saints sideline has to make a play. On this defense right now, they're on the field, and they're just getting eaten up by Phillip Rivers right now.
Seems like Drew Brees has been sitting a long time watching. 2nd and goal. Rivers floats one too high, and there's flags. Inman was held, it looked like.
I don't know why Von Bell has his hands up. This was clearly pass interference.
Pass interference, number 48, defense. Foul occurred in the end zone. We'll place the ball at the 1-yard line. First down.
The rookie safety.
And he's in a tough spot here. It's right here is Von Bell. Little play fake, get some drawn up, and just can't affect the receiver going vertical, and Sean Payton says it all right there. Defense continue to struggle when they need to make plays. Put them in a bad spot.
Remember, a penalty took an interception off the board for Bird and the Saints nearing the end of the first half. 1st and goal. Rivers throws. Tyrell Williams. Close.
This was a really good tackle right here. I actually thought he handed that ball off there for a second. They tried to run a quick little slip screen, but Kenny Vaccaro makes a great play to keep him out of the end zone.
Gordon, and he's in for the touchdown, his 2nd of the day.
Well, he didn't do a lot of work on that drive, but he hits pay dirt for the touchdown. 2nd, 6th on the season. Watch the drive up front from the offensive line. One little easy cutback. He's nearly standing as he walks into the end zone. Good drive by the Chargers offense. They needed to put the dagger in. Phillip Rivers throwing the football did exactly that.
Well, still over 12 minutes, and Drew Brees on the other sideline, but a 10-point lead at Lambeau's kick is good. Your defense can operate better against Brees with that kind of advantage. I remember Rivers saying he thought the Saints would load up against the run, so his passing set up Gordon for the touchdown.
Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet. More 2016 J.D. Power Dependability Awards than any other brand. And by KFC. Go Buckets. It's finger-licking good.
Back here in San Diego, Chargers, and Phillip Rivers said, I think we have the team that can challenge for the division title. Of course, the Broncos on their way to staying undefeated in the AFC West. Now a 10-point lead, but still time for Drew Brees. 12:15 remaining here in the 4th quarter. That will sail through and out to the 25-yard line. Comes the Saints on offense. Drew Brees happy to be back here in San Diego. Rondé, you played in the last Super Bowl played here, your Buccaneers against the Raiders, and a major vote coming up for people in this area in terms of a stadium, and the NFL certainly will not put another Super Bowl in San Diego unless there is a new stadium. They've had 3 here. November 8th, it's a hotel tax to help a new downtown area stadium that will be used for a number of things, including Charger games. Needs 2/3 of a vote to pass. The Chargers and the NFL putting up money. But if fans want it, you got to vote yes on C for a new stadium. As Ingram carries for the Saints. This is one of America's favorite cities. I know people would love to come here.
Great city
for
to come watch football. I enjoyed my Super Bowl here. Obviously, we won, but yeah, you know, I was looking at some of the talking points, and so many other new stadiums have been built over that time period. I think a couple of teams, maybe 11 teams have had 2 new stadiums since the Chargers opened this place. So, I mean, I love coming here. I'd like to see them stay and build it and enjoy the Chargers here in San Diego.
Brees from the pocket, and it's intercepted. Adrian Phillips. Down to the 25 of the Saints.
This wasn't a great pass by Drew Brees by any means, but it didn't help that his receiver, Michael Thomas, is on the ground here. Really easy interception for this Chargers unit. As he's coming out of this break, watching this, he's falling down mainly because the pass is off target. That's probably one of the easiest interceptions you're going to see.
Second interception of the game for the Chargers, 6 for the year, and they have mixed and matched on defense to try and make it difficult on Brees. And now a chance to add to their 10-point lead.
Well, Drew Brees has no one to blame but himself there. That ball was nowhere near being completed to Michael Thomas.
Melvin Gordon knocked down right away.
Well, you're in that situation again now if you're the New Orleans Saints. You're still not out of this football game, Chris. 10-point lead, 11 minutes, plenty of time, but you get a second sudden change situation with the Drew Brees interception. They got to get a stop on defense here. If Phillip Rivers in this offense goes down here and scores another touchdown, then I just don't know what this offense is going to be able to do when they know that they can just pin their ears back and try to get after Drew Brees, the quarterback.
So Willie Snead, who has just one catch today for the Saints. Rivers falling to the ground is Hunter Henry with the catch.
We saw a little bit of everything right there by the rookie. Saw his speed, his ability to come out of his breaks, and then a really good catch on a low-thrown football. And they're coming to the line because I think they expect this to be challenged.
Melvin Gordon knocked down right away. 47th career 300-yard game for Phillip Rivers, his second of the year. Of course, he threw for 326 last week against the Colts. And Ronnie, that last drive, they kept the ball for almost 6.5 minutes and scored a touchdown. Now the turnover, the scoreboard and the clock become more and more the enemy of the Saints.
Well, this is the formation that I continue to see here for the San Diego Chargers. Tight end up top, you got 3 receivers down here at the bottom, and you're just trying to isolate your tight end and man coverage to see if that's what they get here.
Rivers throws. Williams, good tackling there as he's thrown back when he got near the 10-yard line. Well, remember Dennis Allen and the Saints defense, with their better game against the Giants, he said our goal was we can give up some yards. We get in the red zone, or the opposing team does. We can't let them get in the end zone.
Got to force them to kick field goals. There's no doubt about it, Chris. Even some of the greatest defenses of all time gave up some yards, but they knew once they got into this green area on offense, the red zone on defense, you had to play your best football. They have to do it right now.
On 3rd and goal, Rivers in trouble. Looked like he lost the football, but got it back. Cam Jordan was the one who, oh, look at this. All right. Football is family. And stay classy, San Diego. Rule is a sack. There is a flag.
Well, it's going to be some sort of unsportsmanlike penalty. Obviously, that flag came in after the play, but I was going to make a point about San Diego and their goal-to-go opportunities. They've had the most goal-to-go opportunities in the NFL this year, but they're 20th in goal-to-goal scoring. So they've been in this situation a lot, but haven't been able to punch it in the end zone. And unless this penalty is against the Saints, it's going to be another failure down here in the red zone.
Unsportsmanlike conduct number 68 of the offense, pulling the player off the pile. It's a dead ball foul, 15-yard penalty, and it'll be 4th down.
Matt Slauson, the Chargers center, called for the infraction.
Well, he's just protecting his quarterback, trying to protect his quarterback. And I mean, hey man, football is football. It's not supposed to be nice guy ball.
Josh Lambo now to come on to try the field goal. It will be 47 yards after they tacked on the penalty. The kick by Lambo. Nails it. stalls, but they get 3. Chargers add to their lead. It's 34-21. Phillip Rivers has had the upper hand against Drew Brees. 2 interceptions, but just 2 scores down for Brees and this Saint offense.
Well, that was an important stop there, Chris, by that Saints defense. Touchdown there, and I think this game looks a little bit unreachable for that even the great Drew Brees and his offense. But 2 scores. He's got to play mistake-free football for the rest of the game. No more interceptions.
Drew Brees will start from the 25, trailing 34-21.
Each game is sponsored by Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side.
Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up in support of Mental Illness Awareness Week. Join all of us in replacing the stigma with hope by learning more about how to be stigma-free and help those who need it. Visit foxsportssupports.com. Just over 8.5 minutes for Drew Brees, trailing by 14. Across the 31-yard line.
Chris, I'm amazed how the time of possession has changed in this second half of this football game. It was clearly in favor of the Saints in the first half. But so far, in the second half, the Chargers have just dominated possession. The Saints haven't kept a drive going. They've one of their last 5 on 3rd down. They have to get some plays, positive plays going here and keep the chains moving. Get down this field.
Correction, please. It's a 13-point difference here as Brees flips to Ingram, who has been his leading receiver, and he gets away and gets up near the 40. If the Saints were to get 2 touchdowns with 2 extra points and keep San Diego from getting any more, they would have a 35-34 advantage.
Yeah, still 2 scores. They know they got to go down and score a touchdown here, Chris. Time is your enemy. 7.5 minutes approaching left in this football game. They got to get some chunks, and they got to do it now. Brandon Cooks has been invisible on the other side of this field. Jason Verrett doing his job today.
Cooks with just 3 catches for 31 yards. And Ingram running with the football stops short of the 44-yard line. Let's get another game break with Carissa Thompson.
Chris, LA at Arizona, Brian Quick with this 4-yard touchdown catch from Case Keenum puts the Rams up 17-13 with just over 2 minutes left. Now the Cardinals take possession, but Carson Palmer is back in the locker room in concussion protocol, so Drew Stanton will take over.
Another injured quarterback, thank you, and Nick DeZubnar, reserve linebacker. Joshua Perry has come in to play for him. Denzel Perryman went out earlier with a shoulder injury.
It's like a war of attrition with injuries here on the Chargers roster. They got 2 new starting players at linebacker right now, guys that haven't had a lot of snaps under their belt. And crucial situation here against the Saints trying to drive down the football field.
Brees hits the turf. Michael Thomas looked like he might have been open for a moment. It's 3rd down at 6.
I'm not sure what happened to this throw. I'm willing to give Drew Brees the benefit of the doubt on almost anything, but that ball is 10 yards short. Short hopped it to him.
Well, they talk about getting him off his mark defensively, and they made him uncomfortable. Now 3rd and 6. Time for Brees, but incomplete. There were 2 receivers in the area, Fleener and Cooks.
Well, I'm not sure what's going on with them, but there is definite miscommunication. It's 3 passes in those last 4 attempts that just have been nowhere near completable. I'm not even sure who he was throwing this football to. There was 2 receivers in the area, and for whatever reason, Drew Brees looks a little rattled. Give some credit to this Chargers defense.
Travis Benjamin back to receive. It hits at the 20 and is down right away. And a flag down at the 47-yard line.
During the kick, number 56 of the return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
The call on Corey Toomer. Brees, 19 of 31, 183 yards. Every weekday morning, Bayless and Sharp head-to-head on the Hot Topics Undisputed. Skip and Shannon, weekdays, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. The hot topic here is, can the Saints defense force a quick 3-and-out and give Brees another opportunity, trailing 34-21.
All caution to the wind here now, Chris. They can't afford to give up little completions to keep the chains moving. Expect Dennis Allen to throw a lot of pressure at Phillip Rivers right now.
Melvin Gordon, worked his way through the crowd. Looked like the ball came out. Just not sure, and they're saying it's Saints football. Gordon got out of the initial tackle, and it was the second wave. Kenny Vaccaro came in on the tackle. Looks like Darryl Tapp came up with a loose football.
See it right here. I think it's actually the helmet of Von Bell right on top of the football. And Melvin Gordon doing a great job creating some extra yardage there. But ball security has to be paramount at this point in the game. And give credit to the Saints defense. They got the turnover that they needed. Give them a chance to get back in this football game.
Gordon loses the football. It's the first takeaway by the Saint defense. First Charger turnover. And with 6:40 to play and striking distance is Drew Brees. Ingram carries the football and gets inside the 10. Yeah, we have Mark Ingram. We have
a lot of Ingram.
We have Melvin Ingram, the linebacker, and you also have Melvin Gordon.
A lot of Melvins, a lot of Marks.
And a lot of Ingrams. We're just trying to sort them out. But a takeaway for the Saints. And now second down from just inside the 10-yard line of San Diego.
Yeah, they've been off target here the last couple of possessions. Let's see if it affects the play call. Let's see if they try to trust their runner, but they put it back in the hands of Drew Brees.
Tim Hightower gets it and gets some tough yards down inside the 7-yard line, maybe to the 6.
I don't think there's any question that Sean Payton is running the football right now because he knows he's going to go for, this is 4 downs. He doesn't have time to kick a field goal and try to get the ball back twice. He needs to score a touchdown, get 2 quick runs here. Now we're going to see what Drew Brees can do on 3rd down.
Consoled on the other sideline after the fumble, Melvin Gordon. Mark Ingram the back, now splits out, gets the pitch. Not enough room there, but near a 1st down.
3 straight runs. Interesting play selection down here in the red zone. Not that San Diego wasn't expecting this, but here you go, 4-down territory. Offense going to stay out on the field. This will be the most important play call of the day for Sean Payton.
Well, interesting, they need 2 yards, and after 3 straight runs, are they running again, or is Brees going to throw it?
You could make a statement right now by running it again. I got to imagine they're giving it to Drew Brees.
Tim Hightower the back. Getting a timeout signal, and the Chargers call it.
Second team timeout, San Diego.
I think they just bailed New Orleans out there. It didn't look to me that Drew Brees and Brandon Cooks were anywhere close to the same page there.
And I'm sure Saints fans are saying, okay, it's 4-down territory, but we have Drew Brees. We're this close. Why wouldn't we take shots at the end zone? We need to score more than once.
I agree with you. I can't disagree with that.
Question. You're the analyst.
I can't disagree with that.
You have to analyze.
But I got to say that the last 3 throws were off by Drew Brees. The one skipped 10 yards short. The interception was sailed so far over Michael Thomas's head he had no chance to catch it. And then he just made a poor decision on that last 3rd down. So we know what his greatness is. I don't know what he's dealing with or anything. But Sean Payton and his offense need to make a statement right now and get these 2 yards. try to score a touchdown here. This game could be over if you get the ball back to Phillip Rivers and his offense.
Traveris Cadet comes in. Brees throws, end zone. Did Michael Thomas hold on? Yes! Touchdown Saints! Seemed like Brees was going there from the snap.
Well, this young kid has really started to develop into a great wide receiver. Understanding that he knows it's going to be a back shoulder throw. Drew Brees, more importantly, trusts this young kid to go make a play for him just when they needed it.
Michael Thomas is 6'3". He's got extremely large hands, larger than average, and he gathered them in. They'll review as all scoring plays are. On 4th and 2, Brees didn't hesitate to go to the rookie. He's waiting for the thumbs up, and that means it has been confirmed. It is a touchdown. A 7-point difference at the moment. Extra point. Will Lutz to get the Saints to within 6. And he does. After the fumble on 4th down, Brees for Thomas.
You could argue that he doesn't have clean possession of the football, but he gains it on the way down, and then all he's got to do is get a knee and an elbow right there on the ground. You saw it almost simultaneously. That is a great catch. Good call by the officials.
His second touchdown catch as a pro. 10 touchdown passes this season for Drew Brees, and 2 today to go with the 2 interceptions. But it all turned on the lost fumble by Melvin Gordon.
Well, I'm sure they'll appreciate us questioning their play calling, play selection. They're running the football 3 times.
I think Sean Payton knows what he's doing.
But at the end of the day, I think everybody in this stadium knew that Drew Brees was going to throw a pass there on 4th down. He's done it his whole career. He doesn't shy away from clutch moments, and he made a clutch throw, and his rookie receiver made a clutch catch for him.
Chargers will have 1 timeout, and there'll be 2 remaining for the Saints. Plenty of time and a 6-point difference. Will Lutz, who made the extra point, drives this deep into the end zone, and it will be downed. So out to the 25-yard line. Small screen, stadium-sized content. Watch live local Sunday games on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. The Cowboys did defeat the 49ers 24-17. Rams leading Arizona by 4 late in that game. Things have tightened a bit. And the string of throws without a pick continues for Phillip Rivers. Today, he's 27 out of 40, 316 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he's throwing and catching his Benjamin. The ball came out. As he crossed the 30, the ball came out of his hands.
He just dropped this. This is a completion, and I don't even know how to say it, an uncontested fumble. Nobody even hit him.
Saints have the football. Nate Stupar with the recovery. And Mike McCoy can't believe what he's seeing.
Well, unless I'm seeing this wrong, I don't think that Travis Benjamin even got touched here and dropped his football.
This will be real-time speed.
Tech. To me, he has possession. Takes 2 steps, turns up the field, and then nobody touches him. He just drops it.
And Stupar came out of there with it. All turnovers, like all scoring plays, reviewed to see if it is confirmed as called on the field. Now, if it was called incomplete, it could be challenged the other way. But ruled catch and fumble, and that's the way it's going to stand.
And they're inclined to keep the play, the call on the field as is. And Travis Benjamin, little averse to contact there, getting on the ground and forgets that he's holding the football. And Mike McCoy is got to be saying, you're kidding me that this game is where it is right now. 2 successive giveaways by his offense.
And Mark Ingram gets the carry and works his way down inside the 24-23 yard line of San Diego.
What just shows you in the NFL, Chris, you've got to be able to, what was the word we used earlier, finish football games. And the San Diego Chargers are finding ways to lose, and that's what it is here. And obviously, the Saints have to go in and score a touchdown here to take the lead. But there is no way that even 2 or 3 minutes ago that you would think that the Saints would be in this position 25 yards from the end zone with the ability to take the lead.
Chargers have lost 6 fumbles this year. Brees. And a nice play to knock the ball away from Kobe Fleener. It'll be 3rd down. Dwight Lowry on the coverage from his safety spot. 38 career 4th quarter or overtime game-winning drives. And if Brees gets into the end zone with the extra point, the Saints will lead by 1.
Well, here's the question, Chris. What will they do on 4th down if they don't pick this up here?
With 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning, maybe they take the sure field goal. It depends on the distance. We're already close at 3rd and 2. Ingram in motion. Brees' throw is caught and falling for the first down. Tommy Lee Lewis.
Big catch, Tommy Lee Lewis.
The littlest guy on the field.
And Drew Brees, again, I hate questioning Drew Brees, but this was not a great throw either. But his receiver, we'll see what's behind him, and almost put it in position where Desir can make a play on it. But Tommy Lee Lewis being asked to be a receiver now in his last 2 weeks comes up big with a great catch there.
Forces to the 10 as the clock runs.
Well, this is, I'm glad you said that, Chris, as the clock runs. This all of a sudden now, if you're the New Orleans Saints, well, and the San Diego Chargers, becomes a time management issue. I would expect them to turn around, hand the ball off here a couple of more times. You know they got to score, but you're wanting to eat the clock as much as you can here, the New Orleans Saints, because you know San Diego Chargers, Phillip Rivers, he believes the team with the last possession wins the game, and looks like that is what we might come down to here today.
The Benjamin fumble after the Gordon fumble. Saints in position to take the lead. Brees with time, an open juggling catch inside the 5 is Brandon Coleman. He's the biggest guy at 6'6" that Brees can throw to as we move closer to the 2-minute warning in 3rd and 1. And only 1 timeout for the Chargers. You mentioned they had to burn one on defense before the Saints converted. Brees throws, catch made, knocked down. It's John Kuhn. I don't know if it was intended for him, but it's a 1st down catch.
He absolutely was not trying to throw this to John Kuhn, but John Kuhn says, you know what? I'm going to go steal this from Kobe Fleener. And he makes a good play, and they convert for the 1st down.
The Saints with a 1st and goal and 2 minutes to play in San Diego. They trail by 6.
Today's game is sponsored by Domino's. Order online and track your order.
Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, our NFL crew. We welcome those of you that watched the Rams beat the Cardinals in Arizona. The Saints trailing by 13. Drew Brees' first game back in San Diego as a Saint since he left here as a Charger. And after back-to-back fumbles, Travis Benjamin the more recent. 2 minutes, 2 timeouts for Sean Payton and Drew Brees. Trailing by 6. It's John Kuhn in for the touchdown, his 3rd today.
I wouldn't be surprised, Chris, if John Pagano was on that sideline and said, just let him score. That was real easy for John Kuhn to walk in to the end zone here. And even if they didn't call it, give up play or whatever. And John Kuhn just right through that gap, really uncontested. And even if he didn't tell him to let him score, by allowing them to score, you put the ball back in Philip Rivers' hands, and this is the situation that he wants to be in.
The extra point from 33 yards away, the rookie Will Lutz to give the Saints the 1-point lead. And he does. 3 touchdowns. Of course, Drew Brees has thrown for 2 touchdowns, but 3 touchdowns from fullback John Kuhn today. Philip Rivers has thrown for over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. But now has to lead his team back with 1 timeout and just under 2 minutes to play.
Last week they were in this exact same situation at Indianapolis. And of course, Hunter Henry had the fumble. But you talk to Philip Rivers, he actually wanted Indy to score last week because he knew he was going to get a chance to go down and win it. And unfortunately, they had the fumble and weren't able to.
Now, the Saints have already been in a 35-34 game. It was against the Raiders in their opener in New Orleans. They were on the wrong end of that if you're a Saints fan. Now they're on the upside of a 35-34 score, but still time for Rivers.
It's just amazing, though, as we're sitting up here watching this, and how helpless and hopeless the New Orleans Saints felt most of this half. But it just shows you that turnovers are such a key factor in the outcomes of football games. And right now, they got the lead, whereas 20 minutes ago, I would have said they were nowhere close to getting there.
And who's going to finish? Teams, both of them, combined in close games that they thought they could have won. For the Saints, 5 trips to the red zone today, 5 touchdowns. Will Lutz kicks off. McCluster in the sun downs it out to the 25-yard line. A 1-point difference. These are the numbers, as Philip Rivers told us once. Teammates, you're always aware of who that other quarterback is, even though you play against the defense. A fast start for Brees, and then Rivers took over. And a 13-point lead for the Chargers evaporated on fumbles in back-to-back drives. One by Melvin Gordon and one by Travis Benjamin that the Saints came up with. Rivers is going to get sacked at the 20-yard line. Nick Fairley.
Nick Fairley, again, I talked about him early in the game. Receivers are locked up. You got a secondary full of guys that weren't even starters at the beginning of the year. Von Bell at safety. You got Sterling Moore at one corner. You got 46 at the other.
And Rivers is on it.
We'll finish that thought, Chris. You got Crawley at the other. You got a bunch of guys that haven't played, but they were locking up these Chargers receivers.
Illegal motion on the offense, number 17. That penalty's declined.
Maybe Rivers has changed the play. This has been a sloppy series after series for the Chargers.
Well, it's been 3 sloppy series in a row. Philip Rivers is trying to change the play there, and is obviously miscommunication with his center, Slauson, and sends him back to a 3rd and 22. Unbelievable, Chris, that they have fallen off this far in just their last 3 series.
Need to get all the way up to the 35-yard line on 3rd down and 22. He's got a receiver open who can't hold it. Dontrell Inman. It may have been tipped as it came into him by Sterling Moore.
This is almost a great completion. Sterling Moore did just get a finger on it and deflect it enough to distract Inman, but God, it hits him in his hands. He's got to come down to it. And this Saints team been in these close situations game after game this year, and now all they need is a 4th and 22 stop, and it looks like they'll have their first win of the season.
All the way back at the 40, they drop a safety some 30 yards away. Rivers sideline throw, and it's intercepted. Going to the ground, B.W. Webb. First interception of the year for the Saints secondary. First interception thrown this year. by Phillip Rivers. A lot of Saints fans behind that Saint bench.
7 guys back there at the line to gain. This is really just a desperation throw by Phillip Rivers. B.W. Webb, one of those guys that's in his 4th year but doesn't have a lot of starts under his belt, gets the start today, comes down with the game-sealing interception. And Drew Brees told us, Chris, that this team needs to learn how to win. They've been in this situation numerous times this year but just haven't found a way. Well, they were gifted somewhat the win with those turnovers by the Chargers, but at the end of the day, they had to score 2 touchdowns, and they were able to do it and come away with a 1-point victory on the road here.
Chargers will use their last timeout. Mike McCoy could not believe his eyes when Melvin Gordon lost a fumble, protecting a 13-point lead. And then Travis Benjamin, seemingly untouched, lost a fumble. And then penalties being backed up, and the Saints have the lead. Coming up next, it's the OT presented by Lowe's. And remember what Drew Brees said, huddling with his teammates. He always does his fired up chat, but he had a special message today with his team saying, hey, 11 years ago, my career could have been over, and I realized a dream, became a Saint, and want to continue that. And he rallied his team with some help on defense.
And it wasn't Drew Brees' best day. If you are writing the narrative to this before the game starts and the Saints come on the field or come over here and win the football game, you would think that Drew Brees just had a huge day. But he was only 23 of 36. A lot of poor throws by his standards. But the 2 TDs, the one at the end that mattered, and they're going to get a victory.
And Benjamin can't believe he lost the football, which allowed the Saints to move in for the go-ahead score. Chargers now have lost 12 games by 8 or fewer points since the start of 2015. That's the most in the NFL. That's one side of it. Drew Brees is on the sunny side. Once teammates, always competitors. Rivers may have outpassed Brees, but Brees and the Saints win in San Diego.